Over the past few years, I've been looking to the past for guidance for the future. In my opinion, we all have a unique purpose on Earth. Some people make good doctors, others make the best lawyers, some make great salesmen. For me, I think it was only natural that I became an engineer. I have this one distinct memory while watching the movie Robots, which is a movie about a robot who moved to the city to become an inventor, but encountered tons of obstacles along the way. But I remember from this memory that every time I watched that movie, I knew I wanted to be an inventor. This concept was compounded by my obsession with space as a child. I loved learning every little thing about space, especially the theoretical. I would spend hours just thinking about what human civilization would look like when we colonized distant planets. I thought about what aliens might look like, how they might see us, and contemplating their existence with the Fermi paradox. I was a little bit of a weird kid. One day, while I was sitting on the couch doing one of my Wikipedia deep dives, I thought to myself, who even makes rocket ships? Google graciously informed me that it was in fact aerospace engineers that were largely responsible for that feat. It was at that point that I understood I was meant to be an engineer. I spent day and night learning everything I could, what the different types were, how to become one, and what their career progression looked like. I made it my mission, and when it came to preparing for college, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I took all the technical classes I could in high school, like Python programming basics, AP statistics, Calc BC, and even computer integrated manufacturing. Then, after high school, I enrolled as a mechanical engineering student at my state university, and I didn't look back. Once I made it to college, I began to see how powerful of a skill it was. I took part in the Formula SAE team and learned the basics of composites along with all sorts of hands on skills. I helped physically build something that would go on to rank among the top 10 in the country. This reinforced my effort to become an inventor. Then, that first summer, I got an internship working for an aerospace manufacturer where I learned the concept of lean manufacturing and had my first real exposure to a factory setting, interfacing with operators to develop solutions to their unique situations. About halfway through college, I stumbled into the rabbit hole of self improvement. It started with simple things like investing, physical health, and improving outward appearance, but eventually evolved into something more. I began following more side hustle related content, soaking up as much as I could in hopes that I also could make money fast. It seemed like if you didn't do it, you were at best losing out and at worst failing as a man. Eventually, I took a stab at dropshipping. I believed I could do it, and all I needed to do was just try it, right? So I got a deal on a Shopify domain and began setting up my business, dropshipping luxury watches from Alibaba to my storefront, which I named Wristworks. I convinced myself that if I just spent an hour a day before bed, that it would slowly develop into easy money with little effort. What I got wrong was how much learning it took to even get to the point of selling. There were so many logistical nightmares that were popping up from designing the web page to setting up distribution to simply finding products that would be worth connecting to the end customer. I got completely lost in the cycle of trying different side hustles to make a little bit more money. I tried drop shipping. I tried learning day trading. I even tried DJing. But all these things took so much time to learn, and honestly, I didn't even enjoy doing them for money. By 1 year in, I was burnt out. One night, I took a step back and asked a very simple question. Why was I trying to do this? For quick cash? Simply copy and pasting the same tired formula several Gen Zers did before me? And for what? Vanity? Fortune devoid of genuine soul and personality. This is just the way I felt, but to some extent, I still believe this. Side hustles that you do out of the desire for wealth alone eat away at your soul, your divine purpose. For me, I realized a very important thing about myself. In hindsight, was quite obvious from the very beginning. I am a creator at heart, a builder, an innovator, an engineer. Ironically, what I desired most was the career I was already developing in school, but neglecting in my life outside of it. Even my younger self knew this. I was drawn to toys that let my creativity run free. Legos were a staple of my childhood, as was Minecraft and countless other building and creating games. I reflected that it was always better to make something that was my own rather than just copy what someone else did. And it's even more than that. I wanted to make something I could interact with, that I could hold in my hand, that I could create with me and my own knowledge and ambition. This return to passion, although it seemed instantaneous, was developed and amplified with every passing year. All of this past year was spent making the most of my senior design project and then maintaining that momentum by learning technical skills outside of the classroom. One example of this is the whole reason I came up with this video concept. I recently bought a Bamboo P1S printer on sale for just over $600. One night, while making dinner, my mom asked me a simple question: why would you buy that? My answer was that it was simply the type of thing that made me happy. My younger brothers have always bought expensive dirt bikes and boats, but my thing was collecting, creating machines. Before the printer even came, I downloaded Fusion 360 on my PC and began modeling a new stand for my monitor, which never quite fit right on my desk. The day it came, I remember cautiously but excitingly unwrapping it. Every paper felt like it was unveiling a hidden jewel. Every piece of foam felt like it was protecting a device that could change the world. After all, this printer was a huge step up from my 3-year-old Ender 3, which needed at least half an hour to dial in on every single print. Now I could just push a button and the rest was automatic. When I was ready, I sliced the file, uploaded it to an SD card, and transferred it to my printer and waited. The print took almost 2 hours, but when it was done, I was left with a perfect replica of what I had envisioned in my head. A brand new mount that I look at every time I sit down at my computer. This is just one small project, but for me, it represents something much larger, something that none of these side hustles could fulfill because they were devoid of what I crave most: to create, to innovate, and to invent. I hope this small story was entertaining. I know this is a very personal one, but I hope that I can look back on this video in 10 years and just picture where I was, what I was thinking, and where I wanted to go. The greatest lesson I learned in all of this was to never give up on dreams that really matter. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.